Welcome to Sacred Magic. Violet is on a quest to bring sacredness back into our everyday experiences. Anyone can have an extraordinary life when they are able to tap into their sacred magic within. Violet and her guests will be sharing their divine passions, inspirations, and stories of connecting with their sacred magic. We are so happy you have joined us today. Let's get started with your host, the magical creator of Discover Your Spiritual Gifts, Vialet Rayne.
Hi, everyone. Welcome to Sacred Magic Podcast. I'm your host, Vialet Rayne, and my guest today is Trina Schneider. She's an intuitive psychic reader and energy healer. She channels spirit and helps clients to connect with their higher self, spirit team, and relevant past life information. Trina reads the chakras to reveal the aura and any imbalances happening in your life. In her healing sessions, she uses angelic Reiki and crystals to move stagnant and blocked energy in the cycle and emotional bodies. She works on staff as the keeper of treasures at Discover Your Spiritual Gifts. She supervises our staff there. She is also our in-house reader on Saturdays, and she's completing the path of sacred priesthood in the Sacred Temple Mystery School at our center with me. So she's taken lots of classes like angelic Reiki and lots of different things. Her wish list is very long of all the classes that she wants to take at the center. So welcome, Miss Trina.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me today.
Oh, it's such a joy to have you on the show. Talk to us a little bit about your journey. Have you always been doing this stuff? How did you get to this point? So share your story with us.
Well, no, I haven't always done this. Although when I was little, I would see angels and my guides, and I didn't know who they were really, but I just, I talked to them and played with them, and everybody always said, "Oh, you have a really good imagination. You play by yourself so well." But I was playing with all my angel friends. So, but I did hair for 30 years, and I retired about 2 years ago to step into reading and healing full time. I took a lot of classes. I continue to take classes because I feel like in this world, and I think most industries, it's so important to continue learning. Adult education is so important. And it just helps us become better at our craft and what we do. So I love helping people in this different way, and I think that spirit has always spoken through me to my clients. Even when I was doing hair, I would always get these beautiful messages and be able to tell people all these wonderful things to help them along their journey just in life. And sometimes when they would leave, I would wonder, well, gee, where did that come from? Where did all those beautiful words and thoughts and emotion, where did this all come from? And of course, creator spirit has always worked through me, but now it's just in a different way. And I, um, I love this path, and I love being able to help others by connecting in to their guides and angels. Because life can be rough, and it's nice to get guidance and confirmation and healing, and I find it's a very helpful tool for a lot of people to be able to come get readings and healings.
I love that. I love that. I love Trina's stories because we have lots of stories. We've been working together for 2 years now. And, one of her stories was that her family was really shocked because she came to work with us, during COVID, and she really hadn't left the house. Like, she didn't really go anywhere. She was she's kind of one of those that, hey, I don't want to go out and get something. I'm already want to be in really good health. And then she comes home and says, hey, I'm going to work in this retail store. And they're like, what? You're going to be like out in public, like with people? Yeah, I'm going to do this. It's funny how spirit kind of nudges us along and kind of pushes us in the right direction. because I remember in the very beginning, she was still doing hair when she started with us. And she set the goal at one point, well, I'm not going to do hair after this point. I'm going to do this. And I love that passion, that drive to get your dreams and to be able to do that. So, I say kudos to you, Trina, because not everybody, has the courage to be able to do that. So kudos to you. And she's constantly pushing her comfort zone and stepping into things. And I love that about Trina is she's like, I want to do this. So let's figure this out. I'm going to figure this out. So I love that about you. I wish more people would reach for their dreams and push their comfort zones, right? Because I think that's really, really powerful lessons for all of us. And one of the other stories I always tell about her is she's like, I want to take all the things, Vialet. I want to take all your things. I want to take all of them, right? Don't stop teaching until I get to take all of them, right?
Right.
So share with us a little bit about your experience, because I know you're like 3/4 of the way through sacred priesthood. How is that? What has happened with that experience for you?
Well, it was interesting because when I stepped in my mind, unlike the mastery program the women's mastery program that I took, and then the intuitive program that I took, that was for me. And I was like, these classes are for me. This is going to help me grow. Little did I know that it was going to launch me into this new career of helping people in a different way. But so I kind of stepped onto the priesthood path as well. I'm going to have all this extra information and knowledge to be able to better help my clients. And that's my thought with all my classes. But as I've stepped in and moved through the program, it's really gotten me in touch with my magic and being more comfortable with who I am and really stepping into my power as a healer. And it's giving me more confidence and courage to move through life with a little more grace and ease. Yes, there are challenges, and yes, there are things that come up because we are human. But the path has just really helped me solidify more who I am. And it's just such a beautiful path. And I'm so grateful to you for offering this beautiful mystery school path to all of us. I highly recommend it. And I think we get inside of our heads about what things should be or how they should be, or am I ready? And I don't know that I was ready necessarily, but you don't have to be ready. You just have to step in and do it. And the path prepares you for the next things in life, and really, really grasping your soul purpose and why is it? Why am I here? And who are these people that I'm going to help? And but more than that, it's my magic. And it's just so beautiful. And again, I'm so grateful for the program and can't wait to continue the other paths and many amazing other things.
Well, I love all that. And you're definitely right. We've had several people come in the last several months, and there's a common theme with the mystery school. Well, I'm not ready. I can't do that. There's got to be prerequisites before we do this. I'm not ready. And I don't think it's about being ready. I think it's about honoring yourself and saying, I want to do this for me. I need this for me. I'm being called and I want to do this for me. And allowing the magical process to lead you into who you are and what you're doing next and what is beyond what is today. Because we have these perspectives of, I'm going to be this and I'm going to do this job and I'm going to be this and this and this. And when you step onto this path, this amazing thing happens that you're like, wow, no, I'm supposed to be here. I'm supposed to be doing this. I'm supposed to be stepping into this. This is who I am, not who I was. And so it really is a rebirth process of finding your divine self, your divine purpose, and who you are as a sacred being. So, I love watching the transformation of my students. And yes, a lot of our staff people have taken sacred priesthood and are readers. And I love that as well, because they have the experience and I get to watch them transform over the many, many months that they study with me. So it's an amazing, really amazing process to watch. So I am honored when people trust me enough to take these commitments and journeys with me. And Trina is one of those. I see her someday teaching lots of classes at the center as she continues to add to her toolbox. And I think that's awesome to watch people grow and evolve, because I know angelic Reiki has been a game changer for you as well.
It really has. And just my ability to not only help myself and my family, but also my clients and my friends, my pets, um, and even just moving energy with your angels is such a beautiful practice. I love working with the angels, and it was kind of funny because when I first started, because I grew up Catholic and I had all this old programming, of course, it was like, ooh, angels. I don't know about that. That kind of gets me back into this thing, and it's that old programming that I had to let go of and realize that these angels and ancestors and spirit guides are just divine beings to help us along this path. And I love working with the angels. They're so beautiful and just so gentle. um every once in a while, uh Archangel Michael kind of step in with a little kind of like, okay, Trina, come on now. You gotta you gotta get out there. He kind of pushes me to be more Metatron as well, who kind of started me on this path. And it was funny because I didn't even know who Metatron was until I started taking this other program. And one of the instructors was like, who brought Metatron today? And of course, we're all like, I don't know. And then I sit down to meditate. I'm outside meditating by a tree. And then here he comes. And I was like, oh, it's me. I brought you. Huh. So, and I mean, he brought me to the center. So, and it's kind of funny to me how our guides kind of move in and out as we need them. I mean, like he's always there in the background for me. I don't know, and he's there on my altar. But it's like he's kind of stepped back to allow other guides and angels to come in, and I think it really helps with the diversity of what I do. Um
And I love
so
that. I love
yeah, so
that.
I love, and more
So
and
talk
more
to me a
because like
little bit. Sorry, I keep interrupting you, so I
oh,
apologize.
you're good.
No.
Okay, good.
I want to talk to you about your crystals, because I know you have a real connection to rocks. I think I would call you a rock hound. And I
Yes.
know that you have finished the certification at Discover Your Spiritual Gifts of Crystal Alchemy. But how do crystals help you in your work, and what have you learned about them?
Well, I have been collecting crystals and rocks since I was a little girl. I wish I had all the crystals that I had my entire life, but I don't, how when we move and things happen and change. So I've started another big collection. And even when I go hiking and stuff, I pick up crystals. I even have all the hounding gear to go and find all the rocks and crystals. And but it's just such a beautiful nature connection, because Creator gave us all these beautiful tools to work with. And people and divine beings have been using these tools for millions of years. and they're so powerful. And so whether it's, wearing the bracelets for support, or keeping crystals in our pockets or our bras, they're amazing for healing. To lay someone on a table and um line up like chakra crystals to balance the chakras, or bringing in rose quartz for gentle heart healing, or fluorite to help people calm and get back into their bodies, or I love them. They're such powerful tools. And what I love is when people come into the store and they have their little kids with them, and the kids will pick up the crystals and they're like, wow, this one's vibrating and it feels so cool. And it feels like this, or it feels like that, or it makes me feel a certain way. And it's so powerful. And I love, especially, I love seeing adults that are feelers like me, that can feel the energy and feel the power, but to watch the children that come in with this knowledge, and, well, mom, this, they're not even looking at their cards, and they're like, mom, this one's for this, and it makes me feel this way or that way. And crystals are just such a beautiful healing tool. And I think a lot of people kind of poo-poo it or take it for granted. Again, that we have all these amazing tools, and I love working with the crystals. They're just beautiful. And so I know you've seen my altar, that when I read, I have my chakra crystals and some of my other support meditation crystals. I always have my angelic Reiki um tower there as well, because it just helps me remember all the strength and power from the angels. Um, so I love the crystals, and I love that crystal alchemy program. When I'm there, sometimes when the class is happening, I'm like listening in, and wishing that I was in there again.
Well, everybody
It's such a
loved
fun
crystal.
class.
Everybody loved crystal alchemy. And you talk about the kids, what's funny with our store is the children come in and we all go back and get the step stool and put it up at the counter so the kids can stand on the step stool and get whatever crystals they want, because we always kind of cater, because we got lots of families that come in with their little ones that want crystals, and we always help them in being able to reach all the crystals so they can play with them. It's important to me, and I think important to everyone at our center, that everyone has an experience when they come to discover your spiritual gifts. And it's not just a store, we're really kind of family. And so we like to create that experience. So Trina is our reader on Saturdays, and she does some really cool things that clients love. So Trina, share with us as a reader what you do with people, and show us your rose reading worksheet.
So I do rose readings, or what we call rose readings. And so in my 1 hour readings, this is the sheet that I get. And one of my beautiful, amazing hair clients that was with me for probably almost 18 years, I did a reading for her in the beginning, and we kind of just jotted down what the things were. So she created this sheet for me to be able to color in and take notes. So what I do first is I pull up a spirit rose for the person. In the rose, it shows me how open the person is to hearing messages from spirit. I get a color. I look at the stem of the rose, and this is where I get the past life information. And I believe that the information in the rose that I look at, I get in the soul record. So the stem, if it's a short stem, they haven't had very many human lives. If it's a medium stem, they've had a few lives. If it's a long stem, then they've had a ton of past lives. Then I go in and I contact 3 spirit guides who is supporting the person at this time of the reading. And then what I do in this beautiful aura picture, I go through the layers of the chakras, and I get colors of the energies that are moving in and out of each chakra. And so that creates this beautiful picture of what the person's aura looks like for the day. So in the chakras, I look at career and love and life, anything that can be happening, because the chakras are all like root chakra is all our safety, stability, security, and then crown is like spirit connection. So we just go through the layers and just kind of see what comes up. I also do get some medium information that's really starting to come in more. Over the past few years, I do get crossover loved ones that come into readings, but I find it's happening more and more. And I think as I become more open and less fearful of what could come in, but I think I have a really good relationship with my guides and spirit, and that I can set boundaries of, I don't want to know anything scary, because I don't believe that knowing scary information or bad things that are going to happen, that's not helpful or healing to anyone. So, and I do also get some medical intuitive information. Sometimes that does come through the chakras, or sometimes just like their kneecap will light up and I can see what's going on in there. So it's interesting how just as time goes by, my readings have shifted and changes, but I love this rose reading structure. It's such a fun, beautiful way to kind of get a really well-rounded reading, because we touch on a little bit of everything. But of course, in my 30-minute sessions, I can, whatever's the most relevant, those chakras will light up for me, and they're like, hey, pay attention to the heart. They need to look at this, what's happening here, or just whatever it's whatever's needed. And I ask, I have a whole set of rituals and prayers that I do before I even get started reading for the day. And I just ask spirit to bring in whatever information is most relevant, helpful, and healing at the time of the reading. So, and I love it. I love it. And, sometimes it's funny to me, especially when two friends come and they sit together, because you're not always sure. Some people don't have like they're just kind of blank face. They're just kind of, so you're not sure if you're like getting the message across. But sometimes when the friends are in there and their mouths are like wide open and they're looking at the friend and they're like, how does she know? How does she know? And it's not me, it's spirit, and that is one thing that's very important to me. I do, in part of the prayer that I say before I get started, I'm like, angels, bring me, I'm going to set my ego outside of this space, for this work is not about me, it's about helping others. So I just ask for whatever whatever's the most important that people need to hear at the time. That's the message I want to deliver.
I love that. I love that.
Yeah. And sometimes people don't want to hear that. Sometimes there's things that come and people are like,
they don't want to
hear. I don't think
it's hard.
Right?
It's hard sometimes. But so important. And what I can say about Trina is, if you want an appointment with her, you almost need to call in advance to schedule, because Saturdays, she's pretty booked most Saturdays. She's running back and forth doing readings and helping people, and really kind of swamped. And we have a lot of people. You'll have to excuse my voice doesn't like me this week, because I've taught most of the week full days. And so I've barely had a voice. So after this podcast, I won't be talking for a while. But Trina's had clients come in that they'll actually bring back their family, their friends, their partners. You got to go and have a reading with Trina. This is amazing. And I've seen a lot of that. You've had a lot of referrals since being at the center.
Mm-hmm. It's been really wonderful. And, when we were out at the expo, it was kind of funny because there was a few people that came through the booth that were like, oh, I've heard of you. My friend got a reading with you, or I saw online somewhere about you. And of course I'm like, me? Me? But I think it's beautiful because I love helping people, and it's my soul's purpose. It is what I'm supposed to do. I am a healer. And I am starting to offer my healings there at the center on Fridays as well. So people can reach out to me for those healing appointments. I love the space downstairs. They're such beautiful, wonderful spaces to work in and to be in.
That's awesome. Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Trina, for coming and spending your morning with me this morning. I'm so honored to have you on the show. And those that live in the Denver area, I highly recommend that you come in and meet Trina. She's there throughout the week, and she's always there on Saturday doing readings. The other great news is Trina does online readings. So if you want to schedule a reading with her on a Saturday, she does offer online Zoom readings with folks as well. So you can connect with her that way. You just got to let us know that you're wanting to do a Zoom reading and not an in-person reading, but we can do those as well. And so you can connect with her and work with her at the center, which is pretty awesome.
Yes, I love it. It's such a beautiful space to be in. And again, just so much gratitude for you and the center and everything that you do, and just helping with the growth. I mean, it's just spiritual growth for all of us, our community, everyone. So thank you, Vialet. Thank you for everything.
Well, thank you for being on the show, and those listening, thank you for listening today. Thank you for checking out our podcast. I hope you'll subscribe and follow us on our social media channels and connect with us. And if you're in the Denver area, we would love to meet you in person. So please check out our center, Discover Your Spiritual Gifts. Thanks again for watching and listening, and we hope to see you really soon.
Are you seeking an online spiritual education resource? Do you crave to know more about various topics of spirituality? Discover Your Spiritual Gifts Academy offers a wide variety of programs including Crystal Alchemy, Tarot, The Journey of the Fool, Akashic Record Reading Certification, and much more. These online courses allow you to learn on your schedule and at your own pace. You can find out more at www.discoveryourspiritualgifts.academy. Thank you for joining us. To find out more about Vialet, head over to discoveryourspiritualgifts.com. You can also send a personal message to Vialet through email, violet@discoveryourspiritualgifts.com. If you love the show, subscribe to our podcast on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, or Spotify. Until next time, remember, we are meant to have abundant and joyful lives. We hope to see you soon at Discover Your Spiritual Gifts.